Hey, did you know Aries can turn a total flop into their fiercest comeback with a fire that burns brighter than anyone else in the Zodiac? That's right. Behind their bold, unstoppable vibe lies a treasure trove of hidden powers. 25 of them, to be exact, that make Aries absolutely unmatched. I've seen it time and again, and trust me, once you peek into their world, you'll be hooked. Stick with me, because we're diving deep into what makes Aries the spark that lights up any room, and how their magic might just inspire you to shine too. So what's the secret sauce behind Aries' relentless drive? Let's peel back the layers. It's not just about their loud, in-your-face energy. Though, girl, they've got that in spades. It's how they channel every ounce of passion into everything they touch. Picture this. An Aries friend of mine once poured her heart into a passion project. A little art exhibit in her small town. She spent weeks sketching, planning, staying up till 3 a.m. with paint on her hands, only to have the event nearly fall apart due to a last-minute venue cancellation. Most would have thrown in the towel, but not her. She turned that frustration into fuel, rallied her crew, and pivoted to an outdoor pop-up under string lights in a park. The result? A packed night, buzzing with energy, and folks still talk about it years later. That's Aries for you. Perseverance isn't just a word, it's their heartbeat. They don't just bounce back. They leap forward, dragging everyone along with their contagious grit. And it's not just in projects. In love, their intensity is off the charts. They'll dive head first, no holding back, wearing their heart on their sleeve with a rawness that's both thrilling and a little scary. Ever dated an Aries? You'd know they don't play games. They play for keeps with a fervor that can make your head spin. But here's the flip side. That same fire can flare up fast. They value their time like it's gold. And if they sense someone's wasting it with half-hearted nonsense, watch out. They'll cut ties quicker than you can blink, not out of spite, but because mediocrity is their kryptonite. So, how do they keep this inferno burning without burning out? That's what we're gonna unpack next, because there's more to Aries than meets the eye. Let's lay it all out. Why Aries stands out as the Zodiac's ultimate trailblazer. First off, they're born adventurers, always chasing the next horizon. Whether it's a spontaneous road trip or diving into a new social circle, they crave the unknown like it's oxygen. I remember a gal under this sign who'd never settle for the same old weekend plans. She'd drag us out to hike some random trail at dawn just to catch a sunrise, her eyes lighting up at every twist in the path. That hunger for new experiences spills into their emotions and relationships, too. They're not here for routine. They want life to feel electric. Then there's their leadership, a natural pull that draws people in. Aries doesn't just take charge, they inspire. Think of them as the friend who's always the first to suggest a bold idea, like starting a community book club, and somehow gets everyone on board with their sheer enthusiasm. Their energy is endless, a dynamo that keeps them moving, starting projects, leading teams, even when impatience creeps in if the pace lags. But it's not all smooth sailing. Their fiery nature means they can be impulsive, especially in love, jumping in with both feet before thinking it through. And when plans crash, the sadness hits hard. Yet, they've got this uncanny knack for turning pain into power. I've watched an Aries colleague lose a big promotion, only to channel that disappointment into launching their own side gig that outshone the job they missed. Their resilience is unreal. Setbacks are just stepping stones to them. Add to that a creativity that keeps things fresh, whether it's reinventing a stale relationship with a surprise getaway or solving a work problem with an out-of-the-box idea. They never stop innovating. And let's not forget their loyalty. Aries will stand by you through thick and thin, offering help without a second thought. I recall a time when a friend was struggling after a breakup, and our Aries buddy didn't just send a text. They showed up with comfort food, a playlist, and hours of listening. No judgment, but cross them with dishonesty or disrespect, and their demand for harmony kicks in. They'll forgive, but only if you own your mess and promise change. Otherwise, they're out, protecting their peace with a kind heart that still somehow avoids hate. This mix of passion, grit, and authenticity is why Aries leaves a mark wherever they go. They're not just memorable, they're unforgettable, with a confidence that faces risks head on, and a calm that tackles problems without breaking a sweat. So with all this fire, how do they balance the heat with heart? Let's dig even deeper into a side of Aries that might surprise you. Now here's a curveball to chew on. What if I told you Aries' biggest explosions are also their greatest teachers? Yeah, their emotional intensity isn't just a wildfire, it's a forge. Take their anger, for instance. When they blow up, it's like a volcano, sudden and fierce, often overstepping boundaries in the heat of the moment. I've seen it play out at a family gathering where an Aries relative felt slighted over a careless comment. The room went quiet as their words cut sharp, emotions raw and unfiltered. But here's the kicker. After the storm, they're the first to step back and reflect. That same relative later pulled the person aside, owned their overreaction, and hashed it out with genuine regret. That duality, fiery outbursts paired with introspection, turns their temper into a tool for self-awareness. It's not just about venting, it's about growing. And when sadness strikes, like when their big dreams don't pan out, they don't wallow. They feel it deep, sure, but then they flip it into motivation. I knew someone who poured everything into a relationship, only for it to crumble. The heartbreak was heavy. You could see it in their eyes, but instead of shutting down, they used that ache to refocus, diving into personal goals with a renewed hunger, emerging stronger. It's almost like every tear fuels their next victory. Even in love, their impulsiveness, while risky, brings an authenticity that's magnetic. They'll confess their feelings on a whim, plan a wild date without a second thought, and make you feel like the center of their universe. Sure, it can lead to misunderstandings, like rushing into commitments too fast. But that raw passion often builds bonds most only dream of. So, while their emotions run hot, they're always learning, always adapting. How does this roller coaster of a heart shape their connections with the world. Let's hit the peak of what makes Aries truly unparalleled. Here's the heart of it all. Aries' emotional depth and transformative power are the core of their magic, and I've got the stories to prove it. Let's start with how they turn mistakes into stepping stones, a trait that leaves others in awe. I once knew an Aries who botched a major presentation at work. Nerves got the better of them. Slides malfunctioned. The works. Most would have shrunk from the embarrassment, but not this one. They dissected every misstep, sought feedback with fierce determination, and came back months later with a pitch so polished it landed them a lead role on the next big project. It's not just about recovery, it's about reinvention. They see every flop as a lesson, channeling failure into fuel with a mindset that screams, "I'll show you." That resilience ties into how they handle life's darker moments too. When sadness or disappointment hits, like losing out on a dream opportunity, they don't just sit with it. They wrestle it into submission. Think of a young Aries artist I crossed paths with who faced rejection after rejection from galleries. The sting was real. I saw them stare at their unsold canvases with a heaviness that broke my heart. But instead of giving up, they turned that pain into a drive to innovate, experimenting with bold, risky styles until their work caught fire online, gaining a cult following. It's as if adversity lights a match under them, pushing them to rise with even more strength. And in relationships, their passion is a force of nature. Aries women especially bring a heat to love that's all-consuming. Think romantic gestures like whisking their partner off for a surprise weekend under the stars, or diving into late-night talks that bare every corner of their soul. I've watched such a connection unfold where the Aries in the pair didn't just love. They celebrated their partner with an intensity that made every moment feel like a movie scene. But it's a two-way street. They expect that same commitment back, thriving on honesty and open communication to navigate any bumps. Their anger, while explosive, comes with a silver lining of reflection. As I mentioned earlier, after a heated spat, they'll often circle back, not to rehash, but to rebuild, showing a wisdom that tempers their fire. And let's talk about their thrill-seeking side, because it's tied to this emotional core. They need that adrenaline rush, be it through extreme sports, spontaneous trips, or bold career moves to feel alive, and they'll drag their loved ones along for the ride. I remember a group outing where an Aries insisted on ziplining, despite half of us being terrified. Their excitement was infectious. By the end, we were all laughing, hearts pounding, bonded by the shared rush. But it's not reckless. It's their way of exploring limits, growing through challenge. Even their need for harmony, though it can make them react strongly to disrespect, shows how much they value trust. Betray that, and their reaction is intense. But meet them with sincerity, and their loyalty is unshakable. This emotional tapestry, intensity, transformation, passion, and growth is why Aries doesn't just live life. They redefine it. They're warriors of the heart, turning every high and low into a masterpiece of strength. And speaking of heart, there's a lighter side to them that'll warm yours right up. Let's get to that next. Now let's take a breather and chuckle a bit, because Aries has a trick up their sleeve that'll catch you off guard. Their humor is pure gold. Imagine you're at a tense dinner, the kind where the air's thick with unspoken drama. After a petty argument, everyone's poking at their food, avoiding eye contact, when suddenly, your Aries pal cracks a witty one-liner about their own clumsiness earlier that day, maybe how they tripped over nothing while trying to look cool. The table erupts in laughter, the ice melts, and just like that, they've shifted the vibe. I've seen this play out so many times, and it's not just about being funny. It's their way of connecting, of making you feel at ease. Their quick wit and knack for a well-timed jab, even at themselves, show a confidence that's downright charming. I remember a casual hangout where tensions were high over some silly misunderstanding. The Aries in our group didn't lecture or mediate. They just tossed out a playful, sarcastic quip about how we were all acting like grumpy toddlers. It wasn't mean-spirited, just sharp enough to make us laugh at ourselves. And suddenly, we were talking it out over giggles. That's their gift, humor as a bridge. It's not just a party trick. It's how they keep interactions light, even when life gets heavy. They'll use that mental sharpness to spin a story or drop a remark that changes the whole tone of a convo, making you feel like you're in on the joke with them. And when they laugh at their own mishaps, like joking about how they burned dinner trying to impress someone, it's not self-deprecation, it's self-assurance, showing they're human and proud of it. I've watched them turn mundane coffee chats into memorable moments just by tossing in a funny observation about the barista's over-the-top latte art. It's like they sprinkle magic into the everyday, ensuring no moment with them feels boring. Their humor builds bonds that stick, creating a warmth that lingers long after the laughter fades. It's a reminder that even with all their fire, Aries knows how to keep things fun and real, making you feel right at home in their wild world. So, wrapping it up, let's soak in what we've uncovered about Aries. Their hidden powers, passion that ignites, resilience that rebuilds, creativity that reinvents, and a charm that captivates. Make them a force of nature in the Zodiac. They're the ones who teach us to live boldly, to turn every stumble into a stride, and to love with every fiber of our being. Let their fire spark something in you, whether it's chasing a dream or just shaking up your routine. Channel a bit of that Aries energy and see where it takes you. If you've loved diving into these secrets with me, hit that like button and subscribe for more Zodiac deep dives. Your support keeps me chatting. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. What's the most Aries-like thing you've ever done or seen in someone else? Drop your wildest story below. I'm all ears.